Hello, everyone. My name is Tooways Asmal. Welcome to another episode of Tooways to Skin a Cat, a show where we talk career experiences, entrepreneurship, and investments. The main aim is to show that there's more than one way to be successful other than just climbing the corporate ladder. We are live on LinkedIn and YouTube, and the show will be available on podcast by tomorrow. For those who've watched a few of these episodes, if you know anyone else who would benefit from watching, please share it with at least one person. If you are joining us live, drop a one in the comments so that we know we're not talking to ourselves. And if you're watching the recording, drop a two in the comments. My guest for this week is Wiedaad Shaik, who is the Chief Talent Architect at SAPRO. She also spent 9 years working in audit for a Big Four audit firm in South Africa and in London. Wiedaad, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's jump straight in. Tell us your story. Where do you come from? And even outside of work, who is Wiedaad Shaik? Give us that backstory.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Wiedaad Shaik. I am a qualified chartered accountant and, as always said, the Chief Talent Architect at SAPRO. My story, who am I? I have been with SAPRO for 3 years now. Before that, I spent 9 years at a Big Four, three of which was in London in the UK. I'm a young mother. I have two kids, aged 3 and 18 months. So it's a bit chaotic at this time of the day for me, and I'm sure for most of you who are in the same boat. I live in Noordhoek in Cape Town, beautiful part of Cape Town. And yeah, just a little bit of my background and where I come from. So I grew up in a small town on the south coast of KZN called Port Shepstone. I did my schooling there and then moved to Cape Town to attend UCT, where I did a BCom and PGDA. I then moved on to do my articles at KPMG in the Cape Town office. I spent some time after my articles and then decided that I needed a change and a different challenge, and moved abroad to the UK for 3 years on international secondment. And then in 2020, I had a tough realization rather than a decision to actually make a career transition. And I think, it surprised me as much as those around me. I really did love and enjoy audit. And that's definitely not a lie. Being a manager, being, on the ground at the forefront of leading my teams and adding value to my clients is something I really, really did enjoy. But I decided to take some time off. I spent that summer with my daughter, who was 1 at the time. And I was really quite confused, to be honest, in terms of my career path. I knew what I did not want to do, but I wasn't truly sure in terms of what lied ahead for me. But what I did know is that I wanted to move out of my comfort zone. I wanted to challenge myself, upskill, and learn from new experiences and grow my network. So yeah, it started with one conversation 3 years ago with Dario, the co-CEO of SAPRO. And here I am. My role at SAPRO has evolved quite a bit over the last 3 years. And there continues to be, so much of opportunities to grow and learn. And June of this year, I moved into a new role, Chief Talent Architect at SAPRO, and I've really been empowered to make an impact, to bring my unique contribution to the table, to learn from some amazing and talented people, forward-thinking people, and individuals around me. So I often joke and say, my blood is still blue. It's just a different shade of blue right now. So yeah, that's just a brief overview of who I am.
I like it. And outside of work, so, I think if you stay in Noordhoek, there must be some outside of work.
Outside of work, I'm a mom. It's a constant juggle, as many of you may know. Yeah, I love living in Noordhoek. It's a great community. I'm also a massive Formula One fan. If you know me, you'd know that about me. So massive Formula One fan. Also, obviously, a massive rugby fan as well. I used to enjoy being in the kitchen, but don't get that opportunity much. But yeah, also just spending time with my family. My parents relocated from Port Shepstone a few years ago. So having them around me and having them support me and, giving me the ability to actually do all of these amazing things is really special. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Now, Chief Talent Officer, normal title. I don't want to be presumptuous. So, what do you actually do?
I mean, it's a great question. I mean, I know it's a fancy title. I spent majority of my time at SAPRO was I headed up the resource management division of the business. So, I was kind of called the matchmaker of the company, ensuring that the right people are placed on the right assignments, and that required, a really deep understanding of the experience and capabilities of our pros, our candidates, and also a strong understanding of our client needs. And the chief talent architect opportunity became available earlier this year. It was completely outside of my comfort zone, and predominantly in the talent acquisition space. But I've always throughout my career found myself gravitating towards the human people element of the roles that I've been in. But I mean, I was all for a challenge. I think it's engraved in all of the in our DNA, I guess, as CAs. And I really wanted to make an impactful contribution within SAPRO. So the role itself, I like to just explain it in one sentence and then elaborate afterwards. So Chief Talent Architect, my role is to conceptualize and design a talent strategy that enables better hiring decisions. So, and to do this in an economic, efficient, and effective way. So that's basically what I do in one sentence. But obviously this includes, various things, it's leveraging the right technology. There's so much of tech out there right now. And it's really important that, the tech is an enabler and, it enables the strategy rather than, dictates it. We've recently introduced technology-based assessments within our talent acquisition process, both technical and behavioral. What we've really seen and heard from our clients is that, behavioral competency and capability is as important as, as technical. So we've partnered with a great organization to assist us in assessing behavioral capabilities of our candidates. Things like cognitive abilities, your attention to detail, your logical reasoning, and also personality traits. And I think it's really important that we give a candidate and a pro every possible opportunity to succeed while on assignment with us. So and I mean, lastly, just to improve the overall candidate experience for people that are going through the talent acquisition process with SAPRO. So I hope that was a lot of words, but I hope that explained the role and what is it that I do at SAPRO.
You touched on it a little bit, but I mean, accountants, we like to plan, we have these career goals, and clearly, chief talent architect is not one of your career goals when you started. So, how do you move from audit to a completely non-accounting, non-auditing role? Because again, it's not an obvious step. Tell us about that.
I often reflect on that question. The CASA designation is so versatile, and I think my journey has just shown how versatile it actually is. It opens so many different career opportunities for you, and there's a lot of credibility attached to it. I've moved from, as you said, from audit to talent, and now I actually find myself having a growing interest in technology. And being able to pursue all of these different things is actually just, a testament to the versatility of being a CA, which I think is fantastic. I think you learn so much about being adaptable, conceptual thinking, because I always, tell candidates going through the process, as an auditor and as an accountant, you start off with a lot of theoretical thinking. You learn all the theory at university, and then you move on to your articles, you become a practical thinker. And then where you really start to stretch your limbs is where you move into the, adaptive thinker, the conceptual thinker. And when you hit that, the opportunities are endless. So, yeah.
Okay. I think that gives us a good idea. And moving on a little bit to SAPRO. So, I think I interviewed Greg last year, and I interviewed Dario the year before. What's been happening at the company since?
There's been some changes in the business over the last few months. We are, we're embracing change. We're future ready, and we're confident that we are structured for success. There has been changes to the leadership team as well. I often joke within my leadership group that we're quite a multi-generational team at the moment. There's such a great mix of experience, new ideas, fresh perspective. I mean, I'm the youngest person in the African leadership team at the moment, which is fantastic. And I've been truly empowered to to bring my unique contribution to the table. And I think overall there's a really strong focus on design thinking, and it's really engraved in everything that we do. A very much collaborative, inclusive approach to problem solving, to innovation. And we do this to ensure that the end result is fit for purpose. So lots of exciting things happening, in my space specifically within talent acquisition and other parts of the business as well. And I'm just feel very blessed, to be part of the team and to be able to bring my contribution and play an active part of bringing our strategy to life.
For the audience, we'll be responding to questions towards the end, so please add your questions to the comment section now so that we don't miss them. I see that SAPRO is hiring. What level of staff are you looking for? Is it newly qualified CAs? Is it more experienced staff? Tell us a little bit more.
So we're looking for both. Obviously, we love looking for newly qualified pros or candidates, as well as experienced auditors. Obviously, we are client-centric, so the last thing we want to do is create unfulfilled expectations. So our hiring is very much in line with our client requirements. So newly qualified individuals, recently finishing will be finishing their articles at the end of the year, as well as your experienced auditors, 4+ years. And we have a combination of onshore opportunities as well as remote assignments as well.
So when you say onshore opportunities, do you mean people have an opportunity to travel, or
Correct.
Is it, those short-term secondments, or they long-term?
They're short-term. They range anywhere between 3 and 12 months, predominantly at this moment in the US. Yeah.
Okay. So it's mainly in the US. That's very exciting. And other than audit, are there any opportunities in sort of advisory, or I don't know if you've got a tax team?
Yes, our tax team currently sits in India, so that's where we we source all of our India tax talent. We don't have any opportunities in advisory at the moment. Obviously, as soon as that becomes available, it would be posted on our web page, on our careers page, but really focused on busy season that's going to hit us pretty soon. So really ensuring that we have the right talent to align with our client requirements for October to through to next year.
US travel opportunities, I don't know about them, but to me that sounds exciting. So
yeah, I mean it's fantastic, and there's some really great success stories. We've had some of our pros going back 3 years in a row to the same client. There's a level of continuity there as well, which is fantastic. So yeah, we have some exciting opportunities at the moment.
And the best place for people to apply on the website?
So LinkedIn, you can follow the link on my page, and also via our careers page on our website.
I want to switch tack a little bit away and talk to you about your experience in London. So you worked there for 3 years. Talk to us about the experience of working in England and why you decided on there, and how was your experience?
So I was at a point where I was married at that point. I got married really young, and I didn't have any kids, and I felt like it was the right time in my career to make a move. And London, I had people that I worked with previously that made the move, and there was already a network there, so I thought I should leverage that network, obviously. And then I decided to go to the UK. London is such a melting pot of cultures, people, personalities, and it's quite a shock to the system. When I made the move. But the one thing I remember so clearly is that my confidence took quite a knock in the beginning. You start questioning what you know, and to a certain extent, your capabilities that actually got you there in the first place. But I soon found my rhythm, and when that happened, I really started enjoying it, getting into it and doing really well. And there was a lot of recognition, and I started building my own brand while being there. And I say this to a lot of people. My experience abroad is probably has played the biggest role in shaping my career and the professional that I've become. And I remember leading some tough audit committee meetings, being the only non-white, female, and non-British or European person in the room. And it's very intimidating. And sometimes it did get the better of me, but I had so much of support from the partner group and from my network. And it's those type of experiences and memories that I often reflect on and draw on to remind myself of of how you need to put yourself out there, and learn and grow from these type of challenges. So the UK was great. I made lifelong friendships there, and it's a truly special part of who I am.
I want to touch on what you mentioned when you said your confidence took a knock at the beginning. Maybe can you unpack that for us? The reason I'm asking is somebody else who might be going over now, maybe they can be aware of it before the time, and maybe if they feel like they're going through a similar process, they can get through it quicker.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive cultural difference, right? You're going into an environment where people act and behave and speak differently around you. So you're having to adapt to that. You're having to adapt to a different client environment as well. So there's a lot of change all at once. When you're in an environment where things are familiar, you tend to be more comfortable and more confident. So as soon as you're placed into an environment where things are different and you have to kind of just navigate a little bit more, it's for me personally, it took quite a knock on my confidence. But as I said, it's important to just trust in your own abilities. I mean, all of us have been through such a road to get to where we are, to be a CA, and it means something. There's credibility behind the designation. And I always just say, back yourself and learn from the opportunities. Like every time I'm there's a lot of things that are placed in front of me right now that I've never experienced before, and I've never ever done. But I know that when I come out of it, I'll just be all the wiser and have so much more experience. So
definitely helps. And you mentioned, and I know a lot of people go over when they're single. You mentioned you were married. Did your husband go with you, or what happened there?
Yeah, so I mean, my husband did. I mean, it was for 2 years. It was a long time.
Yeah.
So I couldn't just pack my bags and leave for 2 years. So he came with me. So the visa that I was on obviously allowed him to work. So he was able to get a opportunity there with his current with another company within the group of companies that he worked for, which was great. And having him there was unbelievable. As I keep mentioning, support structure and network, and it's so important. And having him there was great, because it was a lot of hard work, but also great opportunity to travel and to make new friends that are culturally different, that are into different things. And I think it was a great experience for both of us. Learned a lot about each other as well.
Can imagine. I want to move over to, I see some questions coming through from the audience. We've got a question from Joseph who says, in your journey so far, did you get any mentorship or attend any training around people management that helped to guide you to your current role and responsibilities?
Hi, Joseph. Thank you. Great question. I've always had great mentors, both at KPMG and currently at SAPRO. So obviously, when you are in a management and a client-facing role, there are a lot of trainings that you have to you have to go for. So yes, a lot of trainings, a lot of mentors in terms of helping me adapt, as I said, to different environments. But yeah, I think it's the experience. It's going through it. It's looking at how other people behave and act, and that's what mentors are for, right? And also being in a leadership position as a female, there's so many fantastic role models out there that are doing so many different things, and just obviously staying close to what they're doing and how their career path is progressing is also pretty important. So I follow a lot of people, follow their journeys, and so it's not just one thing, it's a combination of things.
Any last few words from you, or anything we didn't discuss that you'd like the audience to know?
No, I think just from a from a general advice and mentorship and that perspective, I just I say this to a lot of the people that I work with and a lot of my colleagues. Don't discount an opportunity outside of your comfort zone. Back yourself, but also be real. Recognize that it will be tough. You'll be putting yourself out there, but will undoubtedly learn from the experience and come out stronger. So surround yourself with people that support and empower you. Really, really important. It gives you that little extra lift and confidence that you need to succeed. So that's what I have to say.
Surround yourself with people that you can trust. I think that's a great way to end. The show has been live on YouTube and should be available on podcast by tomorrow. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast and you feel that it's added value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on that notification bell to get automatically notified when the next episode comes out. With that, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us for another episode of Tooways to Skin a Cat. Goodbye.